The MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's
go. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Because we fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Shady, welcome to the show.
Hey, Hulk, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, brother.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the MG Show. Thank you so much for using your common sense and navigating life and reality has probably paid off well for you, considering the current landscape of Psycho Town out there, Jeff. Wow, boy, oh boy. I want to talk about trying to invert reality. These people really think you're stupid.
So, Shady, Massey, it's because of the Jews, not because people wanted MAGA policies. He got elected because of the Jews, Shady.
That's right, exactly right. That's what every single person in the spine of Appalachia there in eastern Kentucky is saying. They are complaining about Israel nonstop. They are not at all worried about the idea that the person that they elected to represent them is constantly attacking the person that they elected to lead them.
So, all of this stuff about Jewry and all that other stuff has got to go, guys. It's ridiculous. Where we go one, we go all means exactly that.
Oh, you mean even Jewish people?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy, I'm going to get a lot of hate for that, huh?
I'm telling you, bro. I'm like, you're like 1 in a million to say something like that.
I know, right? First of all, I'd like to thank Dave Clayput, a friend of mine, a donation on Give, Send, Go the other day. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate you so much. Cram, 1 subscription. Rock Chip says, I'm wondering why my thumbs up are not marked when I go back to rewatch an MG show. Not at all, but several have done this. Interesting.
Really?
$50
on Rumble?
Yeah. EMP Hands gifted 1 subscription on the MG show. Thank you so much. We're only here because of you guys. Thank you. We've got a lot going on right now, Shady. There's so much going on that it's insane.
Well, you know, we did sign up for it, and we did sign up for a little bit of insanity. And as a matter of fact, to deal with these people that think that they own and control everything, the best way sometimes is to hit them from every direction at the exact same time. And I really do feel like that is a lot of what we're seeing go on right now.
Yeah. CJ says there's another $7,000 for those comments. $7,000. You know what?
Yeah.
I check my bank account. It keeps saying that to me too, Shady. Isn't that weird?
Never goes up.
It's not there. Where's my $7K?
I don't know, man, but if I ever get it, I'm gonna start giving it to these guys. I'm gonna like rumble rant towards the audience since they've helped us so much over the years. So if it ever starts to come in, I'm gonna spread it around.
Yeah. Wow. So here we are. Welcome to the MG Show. It is Thursday, May 21, 2026. And today we can officially say that Q's posts from 2020 and the election rigging are in fact now fact, Shady.
A past or a future that's proving the past.
Yeah.
We're in the future now. We told you that it was real in the past. Everybody told you that we were lying. And now all the people that told you that we were lying happen to have already actually known that it was rigged. It's not like they didn't know, Jeff. It's not like they were like misinformed. They knew just good and well that it was rigged, but they didn't want to tell you that because, well, you know, telling the truth has this whole thing that goes along with it. Like, then you would like have the facts and then you would make different decisions and then you would realize that it's rigged against you.
You're an election denier, Shady.
I am. I've never even seen an election, much less participated. It's like there are no birds.
Yeah. So let's just get started off with this real quick. Let me just play this. This is really important to note. Check this out.
Start with a virus, import it into America, talk about it nonstop, call some governors, nod them, that's your guys. Put patients into nursing homes, kill thousands, blame the president, keep blaming, blame some more, lock down small business, kill the economy, push mail-in voting, stoke a race war, call for riots, pick a candidate, no, not her, yeah, that's more like it, lock him in his basement. Shield him from the press. Don't cover this. Don't cover this. Don't cover this. Keep doing that. Ignore the economic recovery. Downplay the world peace. Pump the polls. Pump. Don't stop pumping. Install your software in swing states. That was fast. Take control of polling stations. Call off the election when you're losing. Kick everyone out. Pull out all the extra ballots. Get the software to do its thing. Get the media to say it's over. Call the big tech guys. Ban anyone who notices. Act like the whole thing never happened. Stealing the most powerful republic in the world. It's that easy.
It's that easy. Oh, wait. Oh.
I'm in the wrong voice. It's that easy, Shady Group. And I'm sorry for the quality of that video. Trump even posted that video, by the way, guys, and it got deleted. And they banned anybody who noticed, and we were part of that ban. I got 803 days ban off X, and YouTube and Spotify and all these other places. We couldn't even monetize. We couldn't do anything, Shady, but we stood strong. We stood there because we know that this is the 2026 update, Shady. Let me just go ahead and go down it, and then we'll get your opinion, or not opinion, but rant. All right, here we go. So I'm going to set you up for a rant. So this is the 2026 update, okay? What we now know proves exactly what we saw in 2020. Let me say that again. What we now know proves exactly what we saw in 2020. It was never about the virus. Remember the Q post? Was it about the virus or the election? It was never about the virus. The Wuhan lab leak, USA government, CIA, and whistleblowers now confirm, okay? Wuhan. Media fear porn on steroids. Nursing homes packed with the sick. Cuomo. Okay. Businesses crushed. Schools closed. Race riots and mostly peaceful chaos, guys. Biden hidden in the basement. Mail-in ballots flooded the system and fortified election software. Every piece was designed to beat Trump. This was the greatest election heist in history. They didn't just steal 2020. They tried to bury the truth forever, but we see it clearly now.
Man, and isn't it so beautiful to see, to now know exactly what we experienced and to remember precisely what happened to all of you, the whole country and everyone. This is one of the reasons that they had to have the JFK Jr. stuff or all of the other different things that they tried to show. All the people have already been run through Guantanamo Bay, all these different narratives that they had to throw at Q. Why? Because Q was posting exactly what Jeff just said, that the virus was being used to steal the election. Q was not being ambiguous about that at all. He was saying specifically that this is how they were shaking it out. This is the way the first COVID case landed in America on the day that Nancy Pelosi took the impeachment articles over to the House. Okay, January 15th, if I remember correctly. Q was calling this out in real time. That's why the media had to say that this was a big conspiracy thing about hate and all this stuff about hate. Do you notice that they're not saying that Candace Owens and the Thomas Masseys of the world, they're not calling them hateful at all. But they said that the Q people were hateful and bigoted and all of these different things about us. But whenever the real hateful people stand up and say, no, we're the hateful ones, they ignore them because it's part of their team. We were doing something they didn't want us to do with Q, Jeff. We were telling the truth.
That's why they needed to get us off the air.
Yeah.
All right, Holly Moore, thank you for one subscription. As we're united as one subscription to the MG Show. Holly Moore, thank you. United States of Q, to the favorite two crew. This one's for you. You have provided us with so much information to see clearly through the fog of war. Thank you for providing truth over lies, exposing the devils in disguise. I like that. Thank you so much, United States of Q. God bless you. Now, let's do this a little further. So not only did they do that with the election, how did they make Trump look bad in the economy?
Exactly right.
Okay. This is a new Substack article that I did last night. It's a DOJ unseals bombshell indictment. Chinese container cartel gouged America during COVID. It's time to decouple from the CCP. So let's dig in. The DOJ unseals indictments. China shipping companies, 4 major Chinese container giants, plus 7 execs were charged with global price fixing, and they're called a global price fixing cartel gouging Americans during COVID. They controlled 95% of the world's supply, November 2019 to 2024. So the Department of Justice has just unsealed a superseding indictment charging 4 of the world's largest Chinese shipping container manufacturers: CIMC, Singamas, Dongfang, and CXIC, along with 7 top executives. They ran a global price fixing and output restriction cartel from November 2019 through January 2024. These companies controlled roughly 95% of the entire world's shipping container supply. While Americans suffered through empty shelves, where's my toilet paper? Remember all that, guys? Skyrocketing freight costs and supply chain chaos during the COVID pandemic, these CCP-linked firms deliberately limited production, fixed prices, and raked in billions. This wasn't just corporate greed. This was economic warfare on the American consumer. You. Okay? This is the damning timeline coincidences that aren't coincidences, okay? And this is directly from the DOJ's own indictment, guys. Okay, again, 95% of world containers. That's what they ran. Their output was restricted, plus prices doubled. During the COVID supply crisis, profits exploded while Americans paid more. This indictment that they just unsealed on 2 days ago lays out the cartel's moves with crystal clear clarity, guys. Here's the timeline straight from the primary documents. October 18 to 27. October 18th to 27th, 2019, the Wuhan Military World Games conclude. And we even reported on this back then.
We did. Well, okay? Remember the Mike Pence, his the South Korean or the North Kim Jong-un's sister was there.
Yeah.
Right? At that whole event, and it was all being talked about, like this whole thing was going on right as all of this was being unfolded. Like now looking back at it, it's kind of crazy to see some of the things Q might have been alluding to connected to the vice president and the number of other things that were going on, because we know these people are so heavily invested in China. And it's just very interesting how this stuff right here is coming up, because we think that this is the reason that all these people are freaking out, because they've all made investments in these Chinese under the table backroom deals, and all that stuff's coming untangled right now and falling apart.
That's right. So let's continue with that timeline, Shady. The Wuhan military games conclude, okay? Athletes from multiple countries report a mysterious respiratory illness confirmed in DOD reports and firsthand athlete accounts. November 14th, 2019, the cartel executives meet in Shenzhen. Didn't we have Q posts with Shenzhen, China, Shady Groove?
I think that we did. I think it was.
I think so. November 4th, 2019, cartel executives meet in Shenzhen and formally agree to restrict output and fix prices, which is in the indictment, page 24. November 17, 2019, first documented COVID case in Hubei province per leaked PRC records supported by the South China Morning Post. The cartel just didn't happen to strike right as the virus emerged. They timed their squeeze perfectly. How the cartel operated: surveillance, quotas, and moon-gazing fund. Their tactics read like a spy novel. They capped production shifts and factory hours. They installed 87 surveillance cameras across 49 production lines to enforce quotas, banned new factories, created a secret penalty fund nicknamed the Moon-Gazing Fund to punish anyone who stepped out of the line. The results were obscene. Look at the CIMC's container division profits alone: $19.8 million in 2019. And in 2021, $1.75 billion with a billion.
That's a B.
Mm-hmm. That's not growth. That's exploitation of global crisis that they helped exacerbate. Shady Group, exacerbate. Say that 10 times fast.
Exacerbate.
Right? So we got that. America was held hostage. How do you hold the executive hostage? While we sent aid to China. We sent aid to China while we were being held hostage, guys. Doesn't that sound fair? By February 2020, February 7, 2020, the U.S. State Department under Pompeo was shipping 7.8 tons of PPE to China. Meanwhile, the cartel had already doubled container prices starting in December of 2019. By September 2020, U.S. imports were paralyzed. Freight rates exploded, and every American family paid the price at the grocery store, the gas pump, and at the Amazon checkout counter. The DOJ put it bluntly, quote, "The defendants held hostage the world's supply of ocean shipping containers during the COVID pandemic when our supply chains needed it the most." This is direct from the indictment, Shady Groove. And we're talking about antitrust. Okay? This is the antitrust division, Shady.
Mm-hmm.
One of the executives had already been arrested in France. The rest remained in China. The maximum penalties apply. We should demand extradition. This is why globalism is a national security threat, guys. Okay? We need our stuff made here so we can control the production and the output. Medications, toilet paper, all of it, Shady, right?
Yep.
This CCP-linked cartel just didn't profit from the chaos. They aligned with it, whether by coincidence or coordination, to bleed American wallets dry. Globalism isn't free trade, guys. It's dependency. It's vulnerability. It's a national security risk. President Trump was right all along. Decouple from the CCP. Tariffs, reshoring, and America First trade policies aren't protectionism. They're survival. And we must bring critical manufacturing back home and force fair reciprocal trade. Stop subsidizing our own economic strangulation. Sovereignty first, America first, always. The indictment links primary sources. Here's the full DOJ press release. If you guys want to go ahead and look at it, it was Tuesday, May 19th, when this was done. This is the indictment. You can read it all here. It's all sourced, but this is the breakdown. Okay, the unsealed indictment PDF is right here. I've got all these links for you guys, man. Look at this. Look at how amazing this is, guys. And I want you guys to share this far and wide if you're done watching China rip you off, okay? No more coincidences. Enforce fair trade. Bring it home, guys. Make America strong and prosperous again. Make America great again. What's your take, guys? We have the comments open. Go ahead and put your comments down there. But this article is based on the unsealed DOJ superseding indictment and primary government documents. All claims are directly sourced from the indictment and official statements. Follow The MG Show for more unfiltered truth on the CCP's economic warfare against you, the American people.
And how Donald Trump is beating them.
Yeah.
This is them being indicted. This is actually holding feet to the fire. Notice the timing of this, Jeff. So almost right as Air Force One landed from the trip from China. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting that, do you guys understand what the benefit is of having a smart person as your president? You're seeing absolute morons parade themselves around and acting like they have got a tenth of the IQ of Donald Trump and what it is that he is doing for America. What Donald Trump is doing is not something for the Republican Party. What Donald Trump is doing is not something to get the Democrat Party. What Donald Trump is doing is something to help all of us. Period.
Our success will be our retribution.
End of the sentence. Correct. That's exactly right. They have nothing. They have nothing to do with anything other than their own opportunistic nature. That's all they want. They want to take from you, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do.
Take.
They want to take, and they never give you anything. This is the same way that you would think of like an abusive parent or an abusive spouse. Okay, this is what they do. And they think they can beat you into line, beat you into submission with, oh, Israel's controlling President Trump. Oh, Epstein and President Trump are friends. All of these different things. Bernie Sanders is out there today defending Thomas Massey.
Wow.
You have all of these different people, all of the communists, whether it be Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, neocons or communist guys. I hate to like fill you in on that, but the neocons are communists. Now all the communists are agreeing with the Democrats. Thank the Lord Almighty. Bless you people for finally admitting and being honest about something. Now we know who you all are. And guess what? You still do not trump the silent majority in America. And that, my friends, is easy to see with 1 ounce of discernment, considering what we've watched through these primaries over the last couple of weeks.
That's right. That's right. It's amazing, guys. And in D5 right now, guys.
Yes.
All right. This is what a D5 is. It's a D5 avalanche path. Here's Q, and Q is cruising down right here, and this is hits the deep state. This is gorged Earth right here. This is the track, right? And this is D5 avalanche is like a Category 5 hurricane.
We destroy their system. So see, what they're trying to do is destroy our system. That's what they were trying to do. Now, what we're trying to do is destroy their attempt to destroy our system. Mm-hmm. They don't really have a system without our system. They just have the ability to manipulate our system. Because why? Because it's our system.
Yeah.
They stole it from us and tried to manipulate it against us. Now we're manipulating our system against them. And then all of a sudden, Jeff, these crazy things happen. You know what happens? Drug boats go boom.
Yeah, they do.
Bing, bing, bing. Nuclear bunkers go
boom.
Bing, collapse. Remember the administration warned that whole mountain in North Korea? Nobody ever talked about that in the media, did they? But the whole mountain caved in on that massive bunker. I'm wondering exactly how that mission took place whenever we sit here and think about what we saw happen in Iran, didn't we? Because then we just send B-2 bombers over there on a 36-hour journey, and they dropped 15 missiles right down into a shaft that you can't see from the surface. But all of a sudden, nuke bunker go boom.
Yeah. And looking at the post from 520 right here, it's important to note this is 702 collection, minimizing procedures, CIA versus 5I. How does the CIA collect intelligence? Okay. And then it's talking about right here about how the Obama administration weaponized surveillance laws to target Trump. Okay. It's all, we have it all, guys. Worth remembering. What's worth remembering? The CIA interrogation report. Who was the quarterback? Inquiry by the CIA affirms it spied on the Senate panel, guys. Okay. Right here, it's expand your thinking. This is the reading room of the docs from the CIA. Expand your, from the CIA reading room. These are the docs, reporters and the CIA. It's telling you that the reporters are working with the CIA. Okay? Once CIA, always CIA. So the mainstream media, Q is telling us that the mainstream media is working with the CIA, Shady. This is how they do it. Logical thinking, okay? Intelligence, Senate, Gov, default hearing, CIA of journals. CIA coming back into the news soon. They are the news, Shady. Very interesting, isn't it?
It is.
CIA's use of journalists and clergy in intel operations.
It's almost like they would, like, if something crazy were to happen, they would rush to the microphones to defend Iran and everything that is Iran and everything that is that they built. You would never think that they would do that, but guess what? We're sitting here watching happen. Even Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and these people are defending Iran.
Yeah. Wow.
They're not like insinuating it. They're straight saying it.
Democrats paid Pennsylvania election officials to stuff ballot box. Welcome to the D Party. That was back in 2020 there. And we have it all, guys. Look at that. And by the way, Shady, it's pretty interesting here that a lot of these, this is, watch this, Shady. This is our show from the 20th. Watch this. Listen to us, Shady. Here we go. Let's go
No.
to 24 minutes. Let's see. 20. Here we go.
Everything. Listen to everybody.
Listen to us, Shady.
Make up your own mind. And he was actually correct. But, it's funny. Last night, I was kind of hearing the news talk about stuff, Shady.
Look, Shady.
And they're like, unmasking. Unmasked. They're acting like it's a big joke, Shady. It's funny how the other knuckleheads are
well, I mean, I think that goes. I think that
Isn't that amazing, dude? Yeah. Q posting live during our shows. That was Q post 4306, talking about how do you convince people a vaccine is necessary and critical. Wow.
No wonder they censored us.
Wow. Interesting. All right, so I just wanted to just show you. So how you steal an election, okay, and then how you choke the economy. That's all connected. I just connected the election stealing, the peaceful protests, all that other stuff. We just connected that for you today, along with the Chinese cartel that was fixing your prices while we're sending them aid.
That's exactly right. And we're also stopping them from moving all of their illegal oil at the same time. So now, like, we're legitimizing the whole economy. Well, one of the complaints that we had was, as a, quote, conspiracy person or a truther, is that the world economy is being manipulated, and it's not one-to-one. China's not really paying what they're supposed to pay. They're not really telling the truth about their GDP. They're lying, and they're inflating the value of their currency. What we're trying to do is we're trying to normalize everything and make everything legitimate. So if you say that your currency has X value, then it does have that value, and it's not being price manipulated by oil futures or shipping magnets in the background. This, right, ladies and gentlemen, if we are given a fair fight on the world stage in global economics, there's no way America can lose. As a matter of fact, you know who will lose? Communists. Because communists have one creed, and that is basically, we have everything, you have nothing. So whenever the people start to get something, then they start to value themselves, then they start to stand up for themselves. And that becomes a problem to the establishment. We're celebrating 250 years since we did that, by the way. You guys out there could start anytime.
Yeah. So let's look at 4302 real quick, Shady, because you just brought up something very interesting. Let me just go to post 4302. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. This is 4302. Okay. Expand your thinking. Okay. And if you look at that, this document highlights the deep historical entanglement between mainstream journalists and the intelligence agencies in the CIA. Okay. This is the document right here. Okay. This is the Nixon and the People's Republic of China CIA support of the historic 1972 presidential trip. Okay. Using the 1986 Danilov case as a prime example. Expand your thinking is classic Q, obviously. Don't take surface level narratives at face value. Dig into patterns of media as a tool for the establishment, deep state, false flags, framing, and narrative control. But the core of this document is a debriefing paper around the Danilov indictment, D-A-N-I-L, Danilov indictment. It discusses how U.S. officials confirmed Danilov, U.S. News and World Report Moscow correspondent, and no former intelligence ties, yet the Soviets arrested him on espionage charges in 1986. Okay. It was widely seen as a tit-for-tat response to the U.S. arresting Soviet UN employee Gennady Zakharov on spying charges. The piece touches on sensitive, blurry line between reporters and spies. Journalists often gather the same info, use similar sources, contexts, and get used to, wittingly or not, get used by the agencies. But this was basically, it's not a conspiracy theory that, if you look at anyone, like if you ask your mom, Walter Cronkite, loved him, right? He was CIA.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think that Tucker Carlson isn't? You don't think that Alex Jones might not be? Or handled by? You don't think that CNN is? You don't think that all these influencers, now Tom Massey, maybe, I'm telling you guys, this is a push for communism in America.
And do you know what the most feared weapon is that we have against them?
You.
This thing. microphone. And you notice that all the microphones are being controlled. You see, people that push opinion, quote unquote, people that make their thoughts be known. What you'll notice is that all of these people have the same thought. They don't have an original thought in their head. One of the main things that Q was doing was trying to splinter that methodology, no matter what side of the political spectrum that you thought you were on, and to give you a dynamic view from a question perspective of like, what do you think about this? What do you think? Asking you the question. So when you read it, you hear the question in your head. Whatever the answer is that pops up is popping up into your head. Then you got to think about, why did that answer come up? You see, what do you think? What you think as an American is what's important. And what they think, the people that control all these microphones, what they think is important is what they think. A real American would tell you that the most important thing is an individual American. A communist will tell you that the most important thing is a repeater, someone who toes the party line. That's why General Flynn and his whole crew of numbnuts and Alex Jones and all these people, that's why they acted the way that they did around Q, because it intimidated them. And that's the reason they acted that way toward us, because we intimidate them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Folksters out there, Shady.
You know
what I'm saying? All right. So, we've got that going on. I wanted to just quickly do that, but President Trump is not controlled by Israel. He even said, Netanyahu will do whatever I want.
I think we told you that.
We told you that yesterday.
I think we've been telling you that
and weeks ago, right, Shady?
Yes, we did.
All right. Oh, gosh, guys.
We've been beating that drum, sir.
So let's listen to President Trump. This was yesterday as he returned to Joint Base Andrews after the Coast Guard commencement ceremony. Check it out. Tell me to stop if you want to talk, but this is fire, guys.
So I was just watching. We have big news on Cuba, as you know, with the indictment of Castro. So a lot of people have suffered very big, very at levels that few people would understand. And I think the Cuban population of Miami and certainly beyond Miami, people that came there that were decimated, whose families were ruined, appreciate what the Attorney General just did today and was just doing now. He's just watching it. So we have Cuba on our mind. Very important. It's been a lot of problem for a lot of years, and this was I think it was a very big moment for people that, not only Cuban Americans, but people that came from Cuba, that want to go back to Cuba, people that want to see their family in Cuba. I think this is a very big day, very important day. They supported me to the nth degree. They supported me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And so I think it's a very important moment.
Mr. President? What happened, Mr. President?
Say it?
What's coming next for Cuba?
Well, we're going to see. It's a failing nation. You see that. It's falling apart. They have no oil. They have no money. It's a failing nation, so I just can't tell you that. But we're there to help. We're there to help the families, the people. And again, a lot of those people are related to me in the sense that I've had such a great relationship with Cuban Americans. They supported me at a 94% level. That's a pretty good level. And their relatives are there. So we got to, on a humanitarian basis, we're there to help.
The director was there last week.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that at all?
Well, we have a lot of people there. We had CIA there. We have Marco is there. Marco's parents, as you know, were from Cuba. So we have a lot of expertise in Cuba, and it's not going to be like the biggest thing we've ever done, but I will tell you, to a lot of people, it's going to be one of the most important. They've been looking for this moment for 65 years. So we'll see what happens. But we're going to, in the meantime, we're going to have to help them out. They have no way of living. They have no food. They have no electricity. They have no energy at all. But they do have great people. There are a lot of great people. I mean, I have so many Cuban friends in Miami, mostly in Miami and Florida, and they're unbelievable people. They're unbelievable entrepreneurs, and they'd like to go back. I think hopefully they're going to want to live here, but they want to go back. Maybe they'll invest. We'll see what happens. But we're freeing up Cuba.
Mr. President, how much longer do you anticipate the embargo having to be in place on Cuba?
We'll see. We'll be announcing it pretty soon.
Are all items on the table here, Mr. President, should we expect any escalation here, or should they expect...
With Cuba?
Yes.
No. No, you won't. There won't be escalation. I don't think there needs to be. Look, the place is falling apart. It's a mess. And they've sort of lost control. They've really lost control of Cuba. I don't want to say that.
Mr. President, Gavin Newsom is on Capitol Hill today. He says that he doesn't think J.D. Vance has what it takes to come after you. What's your response to that?
Who said that?
Gavin Newsom.
He said it doesn't have what?
He says that the era of Trump ends with you, and that J.D. Vance doesn't have what it takes to come after you.
Well, look, we've done a lot, and J.D.'s very talented. He's a smart guy. He'll do very well if it's J.D. We have a lot of very talented people. So I think hopefully we're going to leave something that's going to be real easy to run. We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot, and J.D.'s a very talented guy.
Iran have to respond after you said yesterday you're about an hour away from making a decision. Where does that stand today? Have you heard anything from them?
It's right on the borderline, believe me. If we don't get the right answers, it goes very quickly. We're all ready to go. We have to get the right answers. It would have to be a complete 100% good answers. And if we do, we save a lot of time, energy, and lives, most importantly.
How long will you wait?
Could go
100 years, lady.
Or a few days. It could be a few days, but it could go very quickly. Iran is a defeated nation. We're dealing with some people, and actually, I must tell you, we're dealing with some very good people. We're dealing with people that are, I think, far more reasonable than the people that are really no longer with us. We're dealing with some people with talent, with good brain power, and we're pretty impressed by it. So hopefully those people will make a deal that's going to be great for everybody.
Are you getting tired of the
But
back and
I
forth?
don't know. Do I get what? I never get tired. But what I like to do, if I can save war by waiting a couple of days, if I can save people being killed by waiting a couple of days, I think it's a great thing to do.
What's your message to him? Like my first year at home, it's his last show.
I'll have a message at a later date. Okay.
Sir, on Iran, did the U.S. offer Iran oil sanctions relief during these talks, as Iranian TV has reported?
No, I haven't heard that. No. I'm not doing any relief until they sign an agreement. When they sign an agreement, we can get that place built up again and have something that's really a good country for the people. But no, we haven't offered anything.
By the rise of AI, they're worried that their kids are not going to be able to have jobs someday because AI will
I'll tell you, AI has been amazing because right now we have more jobs, more people working right now in the United States by far than we ever had before. And outside of the war, and I assumed the economy was going to go down, the stock market would go down 20-25%. It's actually up. The stock market is higher now than it was before I started the Iran situation. And on the Iran, I had no choice because they were going to have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to give them a nuclear weapon. But that's going to end soon, one way or the other. Oil is going to come tumbling down. There's so much oil. We have 1,600 ships in the Strait that are loaded up with oil that are going to be coming out very soon. So we'll have to see. But the military has been unbelievable. The blockade has been infallible. Not one ship has gotten through the blockade. 37 have tried. They all wish they didn't. Yeah, I had a very good call with President Erdogan, and pretty standard. We have a very good relationship. Isn't it nice that I have relationships with some very tough people? He's a tough guy, and but I have a relationship with him that nobody else does. He's actually done a good job. He's been, I think very much of an ally. Some people would doubt that, but I think he's been a great ally, and his people respect him. His people respect him a lot.
Mr. President, response to any people that are critical of your settlement over your IRS case about the tax now that you can't be prosecuted for tax?
Yeah, well, what happened is I was suing IRS for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons is they released my tax returns, which they're not allowed to do. Now, they showed I pay a lot of tax. I may even release my current returns because they show I pay a lot of money. But they're not supposed to do that. They were in lockboxes as president. And they released them. And a certain firm released them, which was, I guess, a private firm. But it released them to a lot of the fake news. And the fake news went, and you're just not allowed to do that. And many other things happened. So I released them from the lawsuit, and I guess they made a settlement of some kind. I wasn't involved in the settlement. I could have been involved, but I didn't choose to be. So they made a settlement. Also, the anti-weaponization of people. I mean, people were destroyed. They went to jail. Their families were ruined. They committed suicide. You know, all the Biden administration and the Obama administration, both of them. I mean, the Obama administration started it. The Biden administration was horrible in terms of what they've done to people is incredible. And we're reimbursing those people for their legal fees and for their costs and for anybody involved. But they destroyed people. People committing I read the other day, a person committed suicide over it. They went, you know.
There's been a few.
It was the most violent thing I've ever seen in politics, what they did. And yet if I say, oh, let's look at this one or that one, they say weaponization. What they did in terms of weaponization will never be allowed to happen in this country again. So we think that those people, we think that anybody involved in that process should partake. And you're talking about peanuts compared to the value. It destroyed the lives of many, many people. Thank you very much, everybody.
And by the way, we're going to apply for that too.
Yep. I mean, that's what they did. You know, I mean, it's like the whole thing. You know, like look at what they did to this broadcast. Like the government is not allowed to come out and say that you need to be taking these people off the air, you need to be taking this down, or you need to not. Like all of that is absolute insanity. Not to mention the J6 stuff.
It's more than that. It's how they destroyed lives. You know, they took us off YouTube. We were making almost $10,000 a month on YouTube. Now we're making nothing.
Oh, so yeah, they still don't.
5 years times 10,000 a month without any growth. Yep. Think about that, Shady.
I know. I have. I know what they did.
Yeah, that's what they did to us. Okay, and we stayed true to Q. Shady.
Stayed true to the truth.
Truth.
Yes.
Truth.
Yes.
Truth.
Because effectively what Q was
I couldn't debunk it.
Q was an operation to reorganize the conspiracy people that were real into a truth movement, and for all the conspiracy people that were fake into a frantic pull your hair out movement. And they started making up stuff like JFK Jr. and all these people had been eliminated in Guantanamo, and Joe Biden or Joe people were wearing a mask, and devolution, and all of these different things were to obfuscate the message of Q, which was law and order by the book. That's the last thing a communist ever wants to hear is law and order and by the book. You know, like these Antifas.
The jig is up.
Yeah, they start to get really crazy. They start to think, wait a minute, and then they become a victim. Oh no, you're not allowed to look into my criminal history. You're not allowed to investigate me. Oh yes, sir. That's why they gave us free speech, so that we were free to investigate you.
Yeah. Amazing. All right, so let's quickly go over this. This is, I hope the public is watching, as the Department of the Interior, Doug Burgum, and myself are opening many of the decades-old closed fountains throughout D.C. area. So far, over 20 have been revitalized and fixed, looking better than the day they were built many years ago. We have some left. Some were in very bad and difficult condition, but we will get them all done in a short time. D.C. is being reawakened as to its beauty, elegance, and charm. The granddaddy of them all will be the reflecting pool. 2,500 feet long and almost 200 feet wide, the biggest such structure ever built, but also the most troublesome for many administrations in that from the time it was built in 1922, it essentially never really worked. It leaked from all angles, drew dirt, grime, and decay, and was often filled with garbage, and wasn't at all representative of the two great monuments it connects, the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument. But very soon, before July 4th, it will be far better. than it's ever been, even going back to as long ago as 1922, its original opening. The Biden and Obama the Biden and Obama administration spent over $100 million. Nobody said a peep, Shady, and made it far worse. It was open for a short while during each administration before the leaks and decay took over. I, together with Doug Burgum and the Department of the Interior, am fixing it the right and proper way. It will last for many decades into the future, and we've had rain delays and have had substantially increased our scope of work as to the quality, durability, and even including the stone and granite on the outside of the water itself. A big job. Much bigger than originally conceived, but it is being done after over a century of stop and goes correctly. You will see something very special at the reflecting pool in a short period of time. Stay tuned. In the meantime, watch as fountains open throughout D.C. Fountains go up and crime goes down. Also, watch for Lafayette Park. Watch the water, Shady Grove. Is that what he's basically saying?
Man, the video you posted yesterday was amazing.
Yep. We'll watch Lafayette Park directly in front of the main entrance to the White House, and I've made a major contribution towards it, meaning his own money. Okay? The fountains are now working and look magnificent as the park is being entirely rebuilt using far better and more beautiful materials than originally used. As the entrance to the White House, it's got to be spectacular. There's no other way. Again, check out what's going on at Lafayette Park. President Donald J. Trump. So, you just mentioned that, Shady Grove. Mm-hmm. So let's go check out what's happening at Lafayette Park.
Let's go on a little field trip with everybody.
Go find a pretty good video of somebody doing this.
This is amazing.
And wow, it's really ramped up. Got 937 views on X, guys.
Doesn't mean it's not amazing.
Wow.
I'm going to dox myself because I'm moving, but I've lived near Meridian Hill Park in D.C. for almost 2 years now. And the water's never been in the pond there. This has never happened before. I was always too afraid to come here because of the homeless people, but they're all gone. And it seriously looks like Paris.
Wow.
I mean, I've never seen this many people out here. I mean, look, everyone is enjoying it. Everybody. A year ago, Trump said he was going to clean out D.C., and he did. It is clean, it's calm, it's quiet, except for the Chipotle down in Navy Yard, apparently this weekend, but I wasn't there for that. The homeless are out. The birds are chirping. The water is in. The ponds. The fountains are working. Thank you, Mr. This is the benefit of having a construction man as your president.
Boom.
Oh, wow.
Trump the Builder.
Trump the Builder,
Trump
man.
the Builder. Isn't there a Bob the Builder? We need to do
There is.
It
should be Trump the Builder.
Yeah.
But don't you let me ask a question. You guys, has anybody out there seen an article from a D.C. journalist about the condition of Washington, D.C.? These people live there. They walk the streets every day. It's very interesting, Jeff, because you know what happens whenever you're a communist? Whenever you're a communist, law and order seems odd to you. It seems like you're in another world. Like, you're like, it's like being transported out of Gotham into a normal environment, and they don't feel comfortable. They're not writing stories about it. They're not telling you what's going on in D.C. And I saw the pictures that were put out of the test. Did you see the test of the reflecting pool?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to like literally reflect.
Wow.
What?
Imagine that.
I mean, it's going to go from being like something that you look like it really needs a sewer truck to clean to a swimming pool, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just the idea. And that's another thing too, that's kind of symbolic, Jeff, is the water fountain.
Mm-hmm.
This is something we grew up with. So we grew up with water fountains. There were water fountains everywhere, and nobody cared about anybody walking up and utilizing a water fountain anywhere. We shared the water fountains. And then, isn't it interesting, kind of the symbology of you go to any city, you will not find a water fountain anymore. What if all the water fountains and all the ponds and all of the what do you call them? The statue fountains and stuff. What if all that stuff started to come back on, everybody? Wow. Symbolic, isn't it?
It's beautiful, guys. And, Karma, I think it's Michelle, said, I didn't realize DC was that bad. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was worse than bad.
I couldn't believe how bad it was. Like, as far as just,
I went there and it was just crap. Wow.
I mean, I went down to the Lincoln Memorial, went to the Washington Monument, and it's like every place that you were at, you were literally looking over your shoulder. Like you did. I mean, you could see the people, the homeless people lurking around the corners everywhere.
Yeah. What's your percentage, Joe Ray? Joe Ray still in the race. It has not been called yet. Prayers appreciated for miracles.
Oh, wow.
Yep. What's your percentage now? Can you drop those for us, Joe Ray? Thank you. Because we're watching you as well. All right, so this is interesting, Shady. This is a 520 Delta and Q-proof. Full control, pain coming. Trump demands DOJ investigate the FBI and DOJ spying and infiltration of his campaign. We're in full control. Remember all this, Shady? Remember this?
I do.
So here we go. In 2026, now the Q-proofs make sense. Check it out.
Do you think those people are still in the DOJ and FBI?
I hope not. Well, we're going to seek them out. We'll seek them out. We'll get rid of them. Okay? Because you have in every agency, you have scum. And certainly they did it at the FBI and DOJ. But Todd Blanche is doing a fantastic job. Cash is doing a very good job. So we will prevail. I've been standing here a long time with you, many years, right? And they've been saying, I think it's it. I think he's trouble. Here I am, It's a very constant situation, but I think you're going to find that we have great people in the FBI and we have great people in DOJ. Todd Blanche has really been doing a great job and a lot of things to come. We have a lot of things that are coming right now. So it's going to be great.
Now, Shady, I have a question. Given what we were just talking about, do we have given we now have undeniability on purpose, verified ourselves to be an inside source, that's Q's team talking to us, expect the mainstream media, the clown army, to attack in full cooperation with foreign and domestic assets? Are we seeing that now today? Was Massey, do you think, funded by foreign and domestic assets?
We can prove it. Yes, sir. We saw it. We massive funding from Qatar, Iran, a number of other sources that are subversive sources that I would call CIA front states. Okay, yeah. What's going on in Iran? The money that's coming in from a number of other places are controlled. That's why you see people like Patrick Byrne running to Qatar all the time. All these different things. There is a web network that is not above the books. It is black ops, and black ops are everywhere, and that is part of why all of the black ops didn't like you.
That's right. And real quick to Karma, it says, haha, didn't we say we have good people in the CIA? Yeah, 99% in the CIA is good. 99% in the DOJ is good. 99% in the FBI is good. We were told that. I'm trying to find the post right now, but what you have to realize is you have Ratcliffe this is not the CIA that you're used to.
And
is that a good way to put it?
Because the CIA that you're used to is the CIA that's running Iran. And now you have the CIA that's Ratcliffe going down and sitting with Cuba. What's getting ready to happen in Cuba is, Raul, I think, is going to have a knock on his door at 2 a.m. It's pretty soon. The USS Nimitz has moved into place. And so now that the indictment is sealed, they're going to go get him. And once they go get him and get him out of there, the regime collapses. And relations with Cuba will be normalized before Christmas.
Yeah. It's going to be awesome, guys.
It is going to be awesome. I mean, can you imagine?
And I understand we can't get our head around it because we've never seen it like this. You see what I'm saying?
But there's an ancient history down there with Cuba and the connection to America and the conquistadors and what happened back then before America and Havana. And there is a history there that is being clouded and covered up. And you're being forced and turned into little robots that only pay attention to basketball games and beer.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to life than basketball, football, and beer.
Yeah. There is. Yeah. And that's why I don't really watch it. I do watch some football like the Bears if they're in the playoffs. I'm guilty. All right. But there's a Q post saying that 1% is bad, guys. Okay. And that's what Trump was talking about. Okay. He's talking about getting rid of the bad actors in the DOJ, FBI, and CIA.
And there's nobody is, you're never going to get rid of all of anything, but what you want to do is to get rid of the majority of it. You need the majority to be at the top to not be scum.
Yeah. Massey's biggest donor was part of an Israeli think tank. See, that's what people don't understand. The anti-Jew sentiment is coming from the SPLC and Israel.
Yes.
Do you guys get it?
No, nobody will get it. But you're exactly right.
I mean, common sense hat put on. Thank you, Red Pill, for that. Appreciate that. But yeah, we've kind of looked at that a lot. Jersey Talks, thank you for rating the stream as well, and the 5 subscriptions to the show. We appreciate you. 17 Patriots for Truth, 17 total. Delta Pros, one of my fave. 4304, buckle up Q. Yep, and I just showed you my actual threads that I did in real time.
Deltas.
I did the deltas in real time.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You've already got a review.
And they're on my X free. What I'm doing is I'm trying to find the deltas because now Grok works. It's searching my whole account now instead of when I came back and after 803 days. So it's now searching everything. I'm trying to put every delta thread because the threads are more important than just looking at the deltas.
They are.
Why, Jeff? Because I put in extra stuff. I did my own research along with brilliant Anon's research. Some of it's correct, some of it's not. But it was always placed as truth. If it's a fact, it's a fact. And a theory, clearly marked with a question mark. Okay, and that's how we need to operate in life. And, Shady, why, my gosh, it's the top of the hour.
Sure is.
Say it.
We'll be right back after these beautiful messages.
Boom!
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Hello to all of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's a 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spilty, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The MG Show. Not funded by dark money, but funded by listeners like you.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. In a world of shadows. In a world of shadows where the lies take hold, in the matrix and shady groove sharp and true, with the MG Show they cut through the haze. truth is their weapon in this golden age. No silver platter, no tales pre-sold. The truth is learned, it's never told. Digging deep where the secrets hide, they bring the light to the other side. Slaying psyops, tearing down the screen in the matrix. Shady groove, the truth machine. MG show where the real unfolds. Dark to light, the truth is told. Oh, they're slaying psyops one by one, fighting battles till the war is won. From the airwaves to the digital fight, Shannon and Jeffrey shine the spotlight. Constitution's their weapon, their guiding star, exposing the games no matter how far. Every thread they pull, a story unwinds, decoding the chaos, connecting the lines. No puppet strings, no fear to face. They're waking the world at a relentless pace. P equals pacer, a name in the mist, a shadow empire on their truth hit list. Roots run deep through wealth and lore, they peel it back, revealing more.
Once CIA, always CIA. That's the golden rule, they say. Suit leaves Langley, but the leash don't break away. Trade the trench coat for a pinstripe, keep the burner in the drawer. Same old spooks just walking through a different marble door. Once CIA, always CIA. The badge don't ever fade. From the farm to the floor, they still run the same old trade. Black ops in the shadows, black ops in the light. Once CIA, always CIA. Forever in the fight. Former spook in Congress, former spook in the race, former spook in the Senate, smile on his face. One became the president, waved from Marine One stare, but the files in Langley still list him as ours, handled with care. Define black op clandestine, off the books no trace. Plausible deniability written all over the place. When the rogue boys in the agency decide the country's lost its way, they run a quiet op on Pennsylvania Avenue, the American way. Snowden wasn't CIA, he was NSA through and through. Worked out of the Cunha tunnel on a who's hidden side. Buried deep beneath old pineapple fields, turned spy bazaar. Cool concrete catacombs where the signals never died. Once CIA, always CIA. But NSA watches too. Five Eyes upstream prison, they know what you're about to do. When the whistleblower drops the docks and runs to Hong Kong's glow, the whole machine screams traitor, but everybody already knows. What happens when the deep black turns the guns back home? When Langley or Fort Meade decides who sits upon the throne? They leak, they forge, they flip the vote, they plant the compromat. Call it self-preservation when they stage a quiet coup like that. NSA versus CIA, mirror images in the dark. One collects the signals, one runs the cutouts and the sparks. But when the rogue wings flap together, friend and foe both feel the blade. One CIA, always CIA, and the republic slowly fades. One CIA, always CIA. Ask not for whom the black op runs,
It runs for thee today. Come on now. Wow. I love that song. It's got some Johnny Cash vibes to it there, Shady, don't it?
Yeah, it really does. It actually has some truth vibes to it also. We're going right into it. It's not Tuesday, Jeff. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. Well, no, this would be Friday.
Oh, I know, but it was 2 for Tuesday.
Oh, 2 for Tuesday. Well, we did kind of a twofer because during the break we played that Slaying Psyops remix. That was pretty good, guys.
That was
I loved
pretty good,
it.
actually.
Thank you, Yeti, for that. Awesome. I want to just go ahead and let you guys know, and maybe we can have this updated on the app. Yeti has a link to it. It's mgshow.link/MG Music. This is where I'm posting all the MG music in this playlist. So if you go to our YouTube page, you go to playlists, okay, right here, and you go to MG Music. We even have a Q Lounge Live playlist, guys. You might want to check that out.
We do.
Get ready because something might be something
might be happening.
So go to MG Music right here, okay, and these are all our songs. Here it is.
We can't see it yet.
You can't see it, but I can.
I know. Yeah, you were watching it.
Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Not over yet.
So let me go ahead and move once CIA, always CIA up, and we'll move that here because I'm trying to like put them to like, you know, this InfoWars this one's actually the biggest one. Influencers has the most views right now. Very interesting. So that is the playlist, guys. You can go there. MG Music has a playlist. There's 27 songs over there on YouTube. That's where I'm uploading them. Shady Groove. Oh,
thank you.
Jam, Yeti.
Is what?
Okay, so to jam with MG Music, you want to go to mgshow.link/jam.
I love jam.
Augie Littleburr says, just so you know, InfoWars is dead.
That's a fact.
Yeah, and that's why we're the alternative Spotify. If you're sick of the MG show, or excuse me, sick of the MG show getting attacked by InfoWars and the like, please tune in over here because we are the alternative.
That was a professional pivot.
And I sounded like, why does Yeti laugh like Tucker Carlson?
I have no idea, and he's in my ear. No. No, laughs like Tucker. Oh!
All right, guys,
he's all aflutter.
Yeah, it's all a flutter. All right, so we got once CIA, always CIA. I thought that was good. We looked at just to recap, if you missed hour number 1, we got a 2026 update showing you that what we know now and what's been declassed proves exactly what we saw in 2020. Okay.
That's 100% correct, and we knew that it was correct then, and we believe that the idea that we were correct is the reason that we were censored.
Yeah. I have a question. If a Yeti laughs in the Arctic,
nobody hears it. Not there.
Got it.
Answer the question.
Answer the question, will you?
This is perpetual. Don't encourage him.
Oh, I have to.
Exhausting.
Netanyahu works for Trump. How about that?
Not according to X, sir.
Oh.
Not according to all of their little by the way, the left can't
Massey was going to win the primary according to X, Shady.
Yeah, I actually posted a good Massey meme to the show today. I don't know if you happen to see that one, but boy, there's some good ones out there. It's not the pine cone one, though.
Oh, geez. Wow. Let me just see what's going on in the world right now. DOJ. Oh, wow. All right, maybe we look at a little bit of this. Hang on one second. We had a rapid response with the AG, Shady. Otis. Let me find the whole thing here. Hang on. What? WhiteHouse.gov.
He's literally whispering to him. Oh, my God.
White House. Go ahead and show the meme, Shady. While we do this live.
Trump is in the Epstein files.
Oh, my God.
For calling the cops on Epstein.
Yeah, that's right. That's absolutely right. Perfect. I am so sick of these people, bro.
I am too, bro. I had to put that one up last night. I was like, man, these people are so insensitive.
All right, so here we go. This is Trump participates in an announcement with the administrator of the EPA, guys. You ready?
I am ready.
Let's check it out. Let's see what our president be doing.
Here we go.
Thank you, Yeti.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a great honor. We have tremendous people behind me. You'll be hearing about that in a minute. Today is my honor to be discussing the taking of a very historic action to substantially lower costs for consumers, protect hundreds of thousands of jobs, and save Americans well over $2 billion a year by officially terminating the Biden administration's ridiculous regulations imposing costly requirements on refrigerators and air conditioners. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Unnecessary and costly, and actually makes the machinery worse. I want to thank EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, Senators John Husted. John, thank you. I heard you're doing very well in your race, I hear. That's what the word is. And Ashley, I know you're doing very well also. Ashley Moody, Florida, great. As well as Representatives Stephanie Bice, Zach Nunn, and Craig Goldman. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all. You look good. We're joined by Kroger CEO. That's a big one. Kroger, that's a big, I see those stores all over the place. Greg Foran. Where's Greg? Greg? Very good. You look like Central Casting. Just like you're supposed to look. Fairway
It's
Store
just like
CEO,
you're supposed to
Reynolds
look.
Kramer.
There you go, Mr. President.
Okay. Hello, Reynolds.
Hello there.
Maybe I won't look around every time. Why Not Stop CEO and co-owner Ann Guthier. Ann?
Yeah.
No, okay, because it's Ann, I'm going to. Columbiana Foods co-owner Ron Graff Sr.
Right here. Right behind you. Right behind you.
Hello, Ron. Neiman Foods President Richard Neiman.
Right here, sir.
Hi, Richard. Piggy, well, that's a Piggly Wiggly franchise owner. And that's a big company, too. It's actually a cute name. Kevin McDaniel. Where's Kevin? How's that name playing? Good?
Piggly Wiggly. Right.
Piggly Wiggly. I've heard that, actually. That's great. Franchise owner, Kevin. Kevin, and Food Fresh owner, Michael Gay. Food Fresh?
Piggly Wiggly and Michael.
And this is a representative group of very large-scale retailers under the Biden administration.
Lumpy what?
So-called technology transition rule, which was crazy, forced companies to adopt specific high-cost refrigerants, massively driving up the price of transporting and storing refrigerants and various goods. Many grocery stores and restaurants had no choice but to replace their refrigerators entirely. They went out of business, half of them. And these costs rose. Americans faced higher grocery prices and reduced access to critical medical supplies. It was a very catastrophic thing that they did. At the same time, this rule also drove up the cost of living by forcing consumers to purchase higher cost residential air conditioning units. They went up very substantially in cost, and also they were going to be obsolete very quickly. It created national security risk by adding additional hurdles to the already complicated process of manufacturing semiconductors. So it was a mess. Likewise, the so-called emissions rule imposed crippling leak repair requirements on virtually all existing large-scale refrigeration systems, hurting consumers and small businesses, making it almost impossible for many small businesses to even buy inferior equipment. And this is all across the country. The higher cost threatened thousands of jobs and was passed on in the form of higher prices and higher taxes. Today's reforms will deliver significant financial relief, saving American families and businesses more than $2.4 billion. Think of that, each year. Thanks to today's reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, lower costs of air conditioning, at no detriment at all to our country. Zero, including environmental detriment. My administration's historic deregulatory agenda has already saved our country an estimated $1.2 trillion. That's been done over a relatively short period of time. 1.2.
I mean, you go over that number. He just kind of, 1.2 trillion. That is a huge number, guys.
And it's not only is it just a huge number, but it's also a significant way that they were attacking you. It's such a huge number because they thought that they could utilize these regulations. This is part of what the establishment does. This is part of why they needed to convince us all of climate change. Because if they make everybody convinced of climate change, then you just go downstream with all of this nonsense about what the detriment of refrigeration to society or to the environment. It's ridiculous on a huge level. As a matter of fact, the systems that are being implemented because of this are less functional, less environmentally safe, and more pollutive.
Yeah. And, so that allowed the communists to come after you on your water output, your refrigerator, your gas grill, everything that makes America, America. All this is American, Shady.
And also what you
hate
eat.
America.
Yeah. So we can even bring this right into what you eat and what's been happening to you. Do you remember whenever they started telling you that fat was bad for you, that butter was bad for you, that eating meat was bad for you? All of those different things were part of the setup that they were working towards with all of this that was going to end with a thing like COVID. World War III was going to start first. First, they were going to eliminate your ability to give yourself nutrients or to think. Then they were going to give you World War III. Then you were going to get a pandemic. Then your economy was going to be shut down forever. Then it was over. The whole thing was over. Lock, stock, and barrel. That's what they had planned for you. And all these people out there that are acting like Donald Trump did something wrong, that are currently, the Flynn horde or the InfoWars horde, they are that. They wanted World War III. Remember, they've been predicting the doom and the gloom. There's nothing that a quote unquote predictor likes more than for themselves to be right one day. Guess who's never going to be right on the doom and gloom? None of them. FlynnFoWars is dead because doom and gloom is dead.
Boom. Once CIA.
Always CIA.
That's right. Back to Trump.
Each year, thanks to today's reforms, the American people have lower grocery prices, cheaper transportation of goods, a lower cost of air conditioning, at no detriment at all to our country. Zero. Including environmental detriment. My administration's historic deregulatory agenda has already saved our country an estimated $1.2 trillion. That's been done over a relatively short period of time. 1.2 trillion with a T. We're committed to fixing and really completely ending Biden's disastrous regulatory policies and delivering financial relief to each and every American, which is what we're doing. This was a tremendous burden, a tremendous cost. These people had to live with it, not only refrigerants, but a lot more. And it was making the equipment unaffordable. And the actual benefit was nothing. It just made it worse, made life worse, and it made it worse, and it drove up costs tremendously. So now I'd like to ask Administrator Lee Zeldin, who's absolutely fantastic. He's doing an incredible job. We're proud of you, Lee. Really, the job you're doing is incredible. Followed by Greg, Kevin, and Michael. Is that okay? Lee, go ahead, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. As you know, many Americans were expressing a lot of frustration and anger of this rushed, frantic, reckless sprint by the Biden administration to phase out reliable equipment for grocery stores, for restaurants, and for homes. And the consequences, well, they've been devastating. And once again, the Trump administration is answering the call, which will lower the cost of living for hardworking American families. Now look at this chart to your far right. Today's actions are saving over $2.4 billion for American families. It's safeguarding 350,000 jobs. Just at supermarkets alone, we're going to see a savings of $800 million, which Americans will be able to see when they go and buy their food. The Biden EPA face planted when trying to jam through their restrictions. Americans who wanted to be able to fix their equipment were instead being required to buy far more costly new equipment, and that just doesn't make any sense. Refrigeration trucks were being handed impossible restrictions to meet. And once again, here we are in the Oval Office. President Trump is righting another wrong. At the Trump EPA, we are proudly implementing President Trump's agenda every single day and delivering for the American people.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Please.
We got a comment saying, well, my groceries are still up. Do you guys, I hope you guys understand economics. It takes a while for it to reach the consumer when something this big actually happens, okay? It takes a while. So just be patient. These are all setting you up for success in the future. Yes, grocery prices are expensive. Why? Do you think the Chinese and other entities that don't like America are doing this on purpose? Are we fighting an invisible enemy that you can't see? And, then people's gas prices go up. Why is that? Because the deep state made them rise. Why were we out of toilet paper in 2020? We just found out that 4 Chinese shipping companies and 7 execs were arrested for fixing prices on you. Are you guys the meat is an issue. China's involved with that. It's all connected, everyone. The eggs, all of it is connected to the same invisible enemy that has been attacking you and your family for decades, Shady.
Energy prices affect every single item in the economy. There is nothing in the economy 100%, 0.0. There's not one item in your global economy that is not directly affected by the price of petroleum. Period. Full stop. End of story. From there, you have to work your way backwards. The reason that prices and stuff are so high are, number one, because of demand, and number two, because of energy prices. Energy prices are currently being normalized without the backroom deals. The backroom deals have to go away, and the energy prices have to go to their real number. Just like what we need to let happen in the other side of the economy is we need to let the employment numbers actually show the real numbers so that we can get a real outlook on what the economy is and how we can put people back to work. Yeah. Energy prices affects everything. And until we settle this situation that we're working on right now with Iran, that's not going to normalize in the short term, and that is okay, because what we are looking for is 1 year down the road-ish from now. Totally, I think that we're going to be looking at something that you guys have never seen before. The price of oil will be down before the midterms, and the price of food will be down before, let's say, middle of winter. It takes a while. It takes longer than 3 seconds. And the media takes advantage of that, by the way, and they spin that. They say to you, look, your grocery prices are no different. And Donald Trump says that he's bringing them down because they will not be honest and say that there's a delay between the time of an event happening in the economy and your price going down.
That's right. Bless you, Yeti.
Bless
you. Back to well said, Shady.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Lee. Look, on behalf of the Kroger Company, and we operate about 2,700 supermarkets, an orderly transition of equipment reduces both capital costs and operating costs. And at the end of the day, that's good for consumers because we're able to take that and put that into lowering prices, which is the key objective that we have in our business. So thank you very much.
And you were able to save a lot of money and put it elsewhere by not having to do this ridiculous.
Exactly. So it allows us, instead of having to outlay more capital at a faster rate and more operating costs to change that equipment.
Well, to replace a refrigerator that's working perfectly, right?
Yeah. So that allows us, obviously these things have a lifespan, but an orderly transition allows us to move through that in a way which keeps the price of groceries down, and that's something that we're, desperately focusing on, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you very much. Next.
My name's Kevin McDaniel. We operate 14 Piggly Wiggly stores in North Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. On behalf of NGA, the Piggly Wiggly family, which has about 250 stores in the Southeast, we want to thank President Trump for rolling this terrible Biden legislation back, because without it, there would have been a lot of independents out of business. And what people don't realize is it's just not a refrigerant change. It was a equipment change. And those equipment per store, you take a store, our stores run from $25 to 50,000 square feet. You could look for $800,000 to $1.5 million per store to do a change out. That would have done.
The new equipment would not be as good as the old equipment.
No, absolutely not.
It would be inferior equipment because you weren't able to use a refrigerant.
It was thrown together too fast. The technology's not there yet. It's just way too fast. That's the problem. Good idea, but it's terrible. So you would have had all these independents go out of business. You'd had the independents out of business, and you would have seen grocery prices soar. That's what would have happened if this would have went through. President Trump, thank you very much on behalf of every independent in the United States. We cannot thank you enough for what you've done for us. Thank you so much.
I mean, just.
But Israel, Jeff.
So you have great equipment that works incredibly, takes care of your meats and foods and everything else. Beautiful refrigeration systems. Take it out and replace it with stuff that barely works, costs a fortune, and it's no good. Think of it. And everyone's going to go bankrupt because the equipment is much more expensive on top of everything else. Yep. So the big thing now, we got to get rid of the law that was signed quite a while ago. And we have to get rid of that because ultimately we want to make it permanent. There's no negative impact by having a good system, but there's a tremendous impact. I think it's going to be bad because a lot of people said the other stuff doesn't cool your product.
No, it's probably.
It's so crazy. Please.
Michael Gay, I have a single store, Food Fresh, in Claxton, Georgia. And exactly, I mean, to echo everyone up here, these refrigeration costs, I'm the only store in a county of 10,000. I literally 2 years ago put in equipment that should have about 20 more years of useful life. And to replace literally every single piece of equipment in our store would have been unbelievably cost prohibitive, driving up costs as we fight every day to try to keep them as low as we can. And, if that cost gets too high, especially attached to a regulation, do you have independent stores closed in neighborhoods that once I go away, you've created a food desert? So it's very beneficial that this happened today. It's much more complicated than anyone thinks, and to try to rush this through was just the wrong way to go. So we're very appreciative of you today.
Thank you. I have one grocer who's a friend of mine. He's pretty big, and he said, I'm going to go ahead of the schedule, and he actually replaced a lot of his equipment. He called me up. He said, this crap doesn't work. It doesn't cool the food. So you know about that, right? Yes. What a shame. Okay, would anybody, Kevin, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, sir, that this is part of your overall deregulatory agenda, and the big number, 1.2 trillion, is the savings so far, but we're going to be hitting that every year. And we're rolling back stuff that everywhere we look, there's stuff that's as awful as this. And I think that really one of the leaders has been Lee, because the EPA has been a holdup for so many years. But Lee is just out there saving Americans money. And right now, again, if you look at that number, it's $14,000 per family has been saved at reduced costs because of your deregulatory.
Do we agree that Lee is an MVP candidate? MVP. No, he's done a great job, and he sees what's good, and he's a big environmentalist. I mean, he wants to make sure everything is good, but he also sees stupid things like this. Senator, would you like to speak? Sure.
Well, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you for this because this hits our goal of trying to keep prices low for working families in America, cost of food. I have the Graff family here right behind it. They operate 3 grocery stores in Columbiana County. They had already upgraded their refrigeration systems a few years ago. This was going to cost them millions of more dollars in Columbiana County, which is not an affluent county. It has a grocery store in East Liverpool, Ohio, which is the hometown of the late great Lou Holtz. And these people, not only would it raise food costs, but it might force them to shut a grocery store down so that the town didn't even have a grocery store. So you're saving money for working families and their grocery prices. You're also saving grocery stores so that we don't have food deserts in rural places across our country.
Yep.
Mr. President, I think it is so important that the people see what you choose to hang right by your desk, which is the Declaration of Independence, which is a reminder that government at its core is supposed to function in a way that allows people the opportunity to pursue happiness and not work against them by coming up with regulations that just make it harder to live, more expensive to live. And from day one, I remember standing with you with the same crew of folks. From day one, you have been digging into all of these regulations that are issued with no thought to how they affect real people and real small businesses and businesses trying to step up and provide jobs and lift up their communities. Thank you for that. Thank you for getting back to the core of what government is supposed to be, and that is working in the interests of the people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good job. Thank you, everybody. So any questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. How much do you expect that this will save the average American family every month on groceries? And do you expect this change to help Republicans?
It's very, very substantial. There's going to be a big saving. We're breaking it down. In fact, numbers are coming out this afternoon sometime, but the average family will save a lot of money, and you can have stores. You know, nobody actually thought of it until it was mentioned this morning. You will have stores closing down in areas where they're not going to have a store anymore. That's right. And you really are being forced to spend money, much more money, on much more expensive equipment that really doesn't work. This friend of mine is a very savvy guy, and big league stuff, and he put some in because he wanted to see, and he said the stuff doesn't work. It doesn't cool the food properly. That's why they call the thing that we're talking about a refrigerant. For a reason, it's a refrigerant. So that's it. Please, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. President Trump. Are there any assurances from the grocery chains that they'll pass these savings down to consumers?
Well, let's ask Kroger about that. Come on. That's a very good question. You have the biggest right here.
Yeah. We're actually right in the middle of doing that at the moment. So we're concerned about the cost of living. It makes a big difference when you get your pricing right, and we certainly are interested in ensuring that all our customers right across the country are paying the right price.
If it were the right thing to do, if it would be, bad for the environment what they had, I'm all for it. I'm all for that stuff. But when you're forced to put in very inferior equipment that's not going to work, you're going to be wasting a lot of food product because it doesn't cool the food properly. And it's actually a bad thing, and the bad thing is more expensive than what they already have, and in many cases they just put it in. They just put in the other apparatus, and a lot of people have said they've spent money recently to do it, and then this rule came up out of nowhere, and the stuff they just put in they have to change. I'd be all for changing if it was good, even if it was a little bit good. But this is actually bad.
Yeah, do you not have any environmental concerns, though, with this?
No, there is no environmental concern. And Lee covered that really well. There's no environmental concern. It's not going to have any impact on the environment.
Mr. President, with many Americans concerned about affordability ahead of the midterms, there is some backlash among Senate Republicans to some of the other priorities, the ballroom and the anti-weaponization fund. You clearly still have a stronghold in the Republican Party. Your candidates did very well this week during the primaries. But are you losing control of the Senate?
My candidates did well. Not all candidates did well.
But are you losing control of the Senate, sir? Are you losing control of the Senate Republicans?
I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you, I only do what's right. I don't need money for the ballroom. I'm making a gift of the ballroom. This is the biggest misreporting that I've ever seen. The ballroom is being built. It'll cost. It was going to be $200 million. I've doubled the size of it because we need it, and it's being done in conjunction with the military and with the very much in conjunction with the military and Secret Service. We're on time, on budget. It's going to be.
This guy better get his little hernia checked out here, Shady. Look at that.
He's got a little issue there.
Oh boy.
Beautifully. Have all the money I need. We're making a gift to the United States. They came along and they said we want to make it the White House overall more secure. And I understand that. Not for me, because I'll be gone. I'll be gone, and you'll have somebody else in for hopefully hundreds of years. But that's what they're doing it for. The ballroom is paid for. It's a gift. I mean, I want to make it clear because so many people say, I thought you were giving this away. And all of a sudden, the money that they're spending is for security, having to do maybe around the ballroom and other parts of the house. But this is not for the ballroom. The ballroom is being a tremendous amount of what's being done with respect to the ballroom is for national security, including, as an example, a drone port on top of which was top secret until litigation made it less than top secret. But we have a drone port. We have the glass that's 4 inches thick, bulletproof glass. We have bulletproof walls. We have things. You need a place like this. But this is being made as a gift from me and other people that are great patriots that spend a lot of money. We're building what will be the finest ballroom anywhere in the world. If they want to spend money on securing the White House, I think it would be very, very much a good expenditure. But the ballroom is being built.
Well, what if Congress doesn't sign off on the security money, sir?
Then the White House won't be a very secure place.
But and then regarding Cuba, there was an aircraft carrier that just arrived there this week, this aircraft carrier. Are you sending that there to intimidate the Cuban government?
No, not at all. The Cuba, look, it's a failed country. Everybody knows it. They don't have elections.
Oh, are you going to intimidate the Cuban government?
Look at that, though. They're speaking up for the communists. Are you going to go intimidate that poor little government down in Cuba? Oh, those poor little people that keep their whole economy locked in chains and communist regime over them for decades and decades. Are you going to harm them, sir?
Yeah, and I got a whole bucket of F-bombs for you, all right?
Toss them out, like 3 at a time.
Man. These
I'm going to be
people.
calm. But you're reacting the right way that you're reacting. Like, because we have to look at their concern. What were we talking about with Tucker and all this other stuff? The editorials, the people with the microphones. Pay attention to their concern. It tells you everything. Listen to what Ivan Ranklin and these people are saying. I don't ignore these people and not listen to them. I listen to what they're saying because their concern tells me exactly who they are. You have to learn to read between the lines, but that right there shows you it's a perfect example.
Are you trying to intimidate the Cuban government?
Yeah. They're
Intimidation
communists.
tactics on aisle 9, sir. Intimidation tactics on aisle 9.
Clean up on aisle 17. Clean up on aisle 17. F-bombs everywhere.
Under my desk.
I know, they are.
Oh.
All right, back to our president.
They don't have money. They don't have really anything. They don't have food. And we're going to help them along, and we're going to help them because number one, I want to help them. I don't want to.
So your president wants to help them. Is that going to be a big headline? President Trump. What?
No.
Is going to help the Cuban people get away from their communist government. Isn't that awesome? Wouldn't that be a great headline?
That's not the headline, Jeff.
No?
You get it all backwards. No. President Trump attacks Cuban people and tries to stop them from being commie.
Oh,
that's the headline.
They hate you, everyone.
They do. They do hate you. And that's exactly what it is. And so do these InfoWars people. They hate the American patriot. That's why they're tricking you. That's why they're doing the nasty, dirty, evil deeds they do with the word salad. They're tricking you because they hate you. I love you. I think that the American people are the greatest bunch of human beings ever assembled on this planet, ever, and evermore. That's what I think. And that's why I'm trying to give you the most broke down explanation of the stuff that we could possibly see. We could easily build things up into complicated minutia and get thousands and thousands of clicks for it.
But are you going to intimidate the Cuban government?
I'm going.
A humanitarian basis, but we have the Cuban American population, much of it living in Miami and Florida. That's a great group of people, amazing group of people, industrious, they're great Americans. They've wanted this to happen. They want to go back to their country. They want to help their country. I hope they're going to stay here, but they want to go back. They want to invest in their country and, see if they can bring it back. Other presidents have looked at this for 50, 60 years doing something, and it looks like I'll be the one that does it, so we'd be happy to do it. We want to open it up to Cuban Americans where they can go back and help.
The CDC released a report this morning, their report on the last election on why you won and Democrats lost. One thing that it mentions is how they failed to reach Middle America, Southern Americans. Do you think they've learned lessons from that election, and have you seen that report?
I think the elections are so rigged, and we have to do something about it, and we're going to do something about it. But we cannot continue to have, and frankly, the Senate and the House, they ought to get together and they ought to pass the Save America Act so that you have voter ID, and it's so important you have proof of citizenship, little thing like proof of citizenship, and also mail-in voting, which is so crooked. So in Maryland, as you probably saw, they had 500,000 mail-in votes that were corrupt. They were corrupt. They said the printer made a mistake. Don't believe that. And they got caught with 500,000 mail-in ballots that were corrupt. We got to stop it. We have a country that has a very corrupt. We have more corrupt elections than third world countries have, and we ought to get smart. Pass the Save America Act. That'll be a long way. You have voter ID, voter identification. The Democrats don't want to pass. Now, I'll tell you what, the Democrat voters do want to pass, 87%. But the Democrat politicians don't want to pass. And the reason is they'd never be elected again. Because with their policy of open borders, transgender for everyone, I call it transgender mutilization of your children for everybody, men playing in women's sports, all of the stuff that they do, high taxes. They want a tax hike. They voted in favor of high taxes. They voted against a tax cut. They voted in favor of men playing in women's sports. I don't know what these people are thinking. The only way they can win is to cheat, and that's what they want to do. And we ought to pass the Save America Act. Yeah, please.
Yes, Mr. President. I have two questions for you. One of them, which you love. First about the ballroom, and the second about Iran. First, I'm curious, what is the stone that you're going to be using? And I ask that for a reason, because I live in Stafford County, and you know a lot about history and stuff like that. So you know the stone that was quarried for the Capitol and the White House is from Stafford County. They still have quarries, so down there. Just curious.
Marbles and granite.
Okay.
Mostly marbles and granite.
All right, excellent. And then my second question is, the Vice President mentioned the other day there would be accommodations, they were willing to make accommodations with the Iranian deal. Could you kind of expand on those possible accommodations? Does that include...
When you say combination of what?
Accommodations, he's talking about accommodations as far as making the deal going. Would that include the proxies?
Right now we're negotiating, and we'll see. But either we're going to get it one way or the other. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. You know, when people hear it, because oftentimes they won't put up the second part of the sentence having to do with, I'll say, this is more important than anything that we have to talk about. And usually they'll cut it off, the fake news. I say, because this is the nuclearization of a country that some people would say is somewhat crazy. And we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all it is. We can't let it. You will have a nuclear war in the Middle East, and that war will come here. That war will go to Europe. We cannot let that happen, and it won't happen. It's not going to happen. That's more important than anything else. We can't. I can think of nothing that's more important than the fact that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and we won't. Yeah, Jeff.
Following up on that, sir, Iran is negotiating with Oman to set up a formalization of charging tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Is that acceptable to you?
Well, we're looking at it. We hear about it. They've negotiated. They've had a relationship with them before, and we'll see. We have total control of the Strait of Hormuz, as you know, with our blockade. The blockade's been 100% effective. Nobody's been able to get through. It's like a steel wall. It's our Navy. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We wiped out their Navy. We not wiped out their air. I think they're down to about, I would say we knocked out 85% of their missile capacity. It's very hard for them now to build missiles, to build drones. We have great drone technology, anti-drone technology now that, frankly, we didn't have even 2 months ago. We have unbelievable drone technology, both for making them and also for knocking them down. But look, we're going to either make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon, or we're going to have to do something very drastic. And the people of the country, I believe when it's put to the people of our country, they will all agree that we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon.
How do you want things to end up? Just one follow-up on that. How do you want things to end up with the Strait of Hormuz, though? Would you like them to have control of that?
We want it free. We don't want tolls. It's international. It's an international waterway. They're not charging tolls. Right now, they are losing $500 million a day is what it's projected. I don't know, it sounds like a lot of money, but whether it's 500 or 200 or 300, they're losing a lot of money. There hasn't been a ship that's been able to get through without our approval. And the Navy has done an amazing job. And no ship is going to Iran, as you know. No ship is going to, or out of Iran without our approval.
Can they keep their highly enriched uranium?
No, we get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it. Okay?
Mr. President, I have two questions. First on deregulation, the second on the Supreme Court. You, coming from business, you've seen the effects of what unnecessary red tape can do to business. Do you believe that given the amount of deregulatory actions you've taken along with this, going back to the endangerment finding, the CAFE standards, tax cuts, and tariffs, do you believe that you've made the United States the most pro-business, pro-investment country in the world?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question, because we are. For every one new regulation that we add, we're getting rid of 20 to 30 to 40, and now it's actually at even a number. In my first term, for every regulation that was added, we got rid of a minimum of 10. And I understand, Lee, that it's up to 43 or 44 right now. So if we add a regulation, we get rid of 43, 44. We're making it a much more pro-business, pro-people. Regulations are very costly for the people. They're bad for everybody. They're bad for jobs, bad for everybody. And we have, as of today, we have more people working in the United States than at any time in the history of our country. To me, it's one of my favorite stats. But we have more people today working in the United States than at any time in the history. And this is with the Iran conflict. That'll end soon, very soon. And when it ends, your gasoline prices will go down lower than they were before. I left Iowa a few months ago, and gasoline was at $1.85 a gallon. That's right. And we'll be hitting numbers like that again.
Mr. President, on the Supreme Court,
we'll be hitting them in a much nicer way, by the way. We will be hitting them, and we will have a country that will not have a nuclear weapon.
So what is today's executive?
On the Supreme Court, sir, we're still waiting for the decision on birthright citizenship. You attended the oral arguments of that. Can you just explain what's at stake with that decision, sir?
It's a big decision that we're waiting for from the Supreme Court. We had a terrible tariff decision. They cost our country a fortune. They should do it a different way. We're doing it a different way, but we're going to most likely have to pay back $149 billion. All they had to do is put a little sentence in there, half a sentence, saying that any monies paid don't have to be paid back. You're talking about the people in many cases that hate our country. Give them back money. It was a terrible decision. And it's not going to affect because we do the tariffs a different way. The tariffs are what's bringing in all of this money. It's really made our country rich, modernly rich. Now we have another one coming up, which is birthright citizenship. And we're the only country in the world that has it. You step into our country and you're all of a sudden a citizen. You come in a certain way. This was not meant for Chinese billionaires to have their children become citizens of our country. This was meant, or other rich people, poor people. This was meant for the babies of slaves. This was signed right after the Civil War. You look at the dates alone, immediately after. This was having to do with the babies of slaves. And people have used it. And if this is allowed to stand, it will be a disaster economically for our country. And you'll have 25% of the people coming into our country coming in through birthright citizenship. And we won't have any control. This decision by the Supreme Court is a very big one. They'll probably rule against me because they seem to like doing that. Frankly, I'm not happy with some of the decisions. Look at NIL. Look what they've done. Look what the courts have done to college sports. They're destroying college sports. They're destroying universities. But birthright citizens are a big deal. And literally, if that's allowed to stand, and again, this was a civil war. This was right after the Civil War. And it has to do with the babies of slaves. It doesn't have to do with the babies of very rich people coming into the country. One of them came in with 57 children. Okay, 57 children. They're using the system, and it's usually people that hate our country, if you want to know the truth. Birthright citizen is done by no other country in the world the way we're doing it. We're a laughing stock. And if the Supreme Court approves that decision, they have done a great disservice to the United States of America, just like they did a great disservice by costing us $149 billion on tariffs by saying do it a different way. Get the same result, do it a different way. We should have won that decision. We had a very strong, very powerful dissent. We had 3 dissents. So it wasn't like a unanimous decision by any means. We had very powerful dissents. When you read that dissent, people that read that dissent say, you really should have won this case. We should have won that case on tariffs. That case cost our country $149 million. It goes to people that hate our country. So now we have another one coming up, birthright citizenship. It would be a disgrace. It would be a disgrace if the Supreme Court of the United States allows that to happen. Remember what I said, 20 to 25% of the people coming into our country will come in through birthright citizenship. They'll become citizens through birthright citizenship, and it'll cost us numbers that are, I don't even think they're doable. And it's all up to a couple of people, and I hope they do what's right. Birthright citizenship is a disgrace. The fact that, look at the people that are bringing the suit. Study the people that are bringing the suit. These are not people that love our country, I can tell you that.
Mr. President, why has today's executive order on AI been postponed?
Because I didn't like certain aspects of it. I postponed it. I think it gets in the way of, we're leading China, we're leading everybody, and I don't want to do anything that's going to get in the way of that lead. We have a very substantial on AI. It's causing tremendous good, and it's also bringing in a lot of jobs, tremendous numbers of jobs. Again, we have more people working right now than we've ever had. I really thought that could have been a blocker, and I want to make sure that it's not.
Mr. President, with President Xi last week, did you discuss AI safeguards?
Who, what?
In China last week with President Xi, did you discuss AI safeguards?
I discussed it. And he acknowledges how well we're doing. We're doing well. He's doing it. It's the two of us. The two countries are fighting for it. Other countries are way behind, way behind. They're fighting for it. They want it. Everybody wants it, but they're way behind. But I didn't want to do it. I postponed that meeting. It was a press conference. It was a signing, actually, because I didn't like what I was seeing.
Mr. President, a few moments ago, the Commission of Fine Arts approved your design, the design for your arch. Do you think you need congressional approval?
I finally get good news from
Do you think you need
What was the vote? Do you know what the vote was? What was the vote?
I'm just seeing the headline here. I don't have the exact vote.
So we're building what's called the Triumphal Arc.
So, do we need congressional approval to build an Arc de Triomphe, guys?
No.
These people hate your country.
They don't want you to have anything. Anything.
You can't have it.
You can't have anything. Like anything that anybody says that maybe you should have, they resist it. Or anytime that anybody says that you should have a little bit of freedom, they resist it. Anytime that anybody says that they would like to do something nice for somebody else, they resist it. They want this country eliminated. At the core of their souls, they hate the very ground you stand on, and we are one step closer every single day to them all telling you the truth. Now we have all of these people from our side, quote unquote, that have told you the truth. It's your job to believe them.
Yeah. And, that is a symbolism, that Les Arc de Triomphe, because it would declare victory here. Do you understand that? It would declare victory over the bloodlines who want communism, who hate America.
Exactly, because the one that they idolize is in Paris.
Aha.
It's symbolism.
Will be their downfall.
And it's going to be the case.
Right opposite the Arlington Memorial Bridge, right by Arlington Cemetery. It's beautiful. It's the Arc de Triomphe would be the one that you would probably know in Paris. It's one of the most beautiful. It's a very similar size, slightly larger. We have to do slightly larger. It doesn't have to be a lot larger. Otherwise, you'd all be disappointed in me. But it's even far more beautiful. And I think that the Arc de Triomphe is beautiful. It's a couple of 100 years old, but I think it's beautiful. And some arcs go back over 1,000 years. And it's called a Triumphal Arc. It's usually done for victories in war and things. There are 59 of them in the world. And some are really beautiful. And we're the only major, Washington, D.C., which should be number one. We're the only important and major city that doesn't have one. We don't have a Triumphal Arc. So it was meant to be built for many years. The circle going up to the bridge, people pass that circle. They say, why isn't something built here? And so that's very good. We just got approval from Fine Arts. That's fantastic.
Right, but you need Congress to sign off on it.
No, we don't. No.
No, you don't need anything.
The land is owned by
Congress.
By
These
the
people,
Interior Department.
These parliamentarians, I tell you.
From Congress.
Are you attending
Mr. President, back on that.
your son's wedding this weekend, by the way?
He'd like me to go, but it's going to be just a small little private affair, and I'm going to try and make it. I'm in the midst. I said, this is not good timing for me. I have a thing called Iran and other things. That's one I can't win on. If I do attend, I get killed. If I don't attend, I get killed. By the fake news, of course, I'm talking about. No, but he's got a very a person who I've known for a long time, and hopefully they're going to have a great marriage.
Mr. President, to add to the art, I just actually passed by it on my way here. I saw that the pink flags, and there's just geese that are there all the time. So that's perfect. How long will that take? And also, I have to say, I have to pass along something for my mother, who she drove in with me. She was amazed by all the people she was seeing on the streets here in D.C. She doesn't get in here as much, but she was noticing how clean and beautiful it was. So I'm passing that along.
That's right. Well, that's what I do. Clean. Take a look outside. We had broken path. It was so terrible coming into the White House. It was
All right. Well, we're going to leave that there, Shady Grove, because we're coming up on the top of the hour, and it is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow we will have another presentation in hour number 2 of Follow the Bloodlines. I see people in here saying, well, it's a direct attack on the Rothschilds. Well, we see it differently because it's a direct attack on the Payseurs. And I just want to tell you this. We got attacked the second I said the word Payseur out in public, okay? They want you to think that it's the Rothschilds. Okay, the Rothschilds were the worker bees for the Payseurs. Okay, and it was Q Post 1970. It was a person that wanted to prove us wrong. Hey, Q, does P equal Payseur? When are we going to see the pain? Where we go one, we go all. Well, guess what? Q reposted that, and our research was confirmed, Shady. And I don't think people understand that it's not just if we just talked about Rothschilds, we'd be fine. We would never have gotten censored. How about that?
That's 100% true, because that's what they want us talking about. Because whenever we mention Payseur, what we're talking about is the unnamed. Yeah. We're talking about the unnamed, because you can't just say, oh, this name, because nobody's ever heard of that name. That's the reason that they censored us, because what we're saying is something that actually hurts them. Rothschilds are put there for you to beat on. They are fine with it.
Yep, and they work for and just do you know what the Federal Reserve parent companies are? And that's for you, the new person here in here, Karma Michelle. That is the Payseur railroads, 3 of them, the Charleston, Cincinnati, and Chicago Railroad. Okay,
boom,
and that's the parent to the Federal Reserve, and also Bank of America is their original Lancaster Bank in the Carolinas, Shady. So we did all this research. We know, and we've been attacked heavily for it. I just wanted to let you know that, because I know your comments are in good faith, and we love you. Thank you for coming here as well. If you're new to the show, we love you. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you guys so much for supporting independent, patriot, citizen journalism.
Yeah. It's not me. Oh, you remember all the patient orders. Okay, great. All right, got it. So it's not you, but it's somebody else. It was somebody else. I don't know who it was. But Shady Grove, let's go out with InfoWars is dead. What do you think?
I think that is what a great day to be alive, and God bless America. And by the way, there's going to be a SpaceX launch today.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
And also, Marco Rubio called out the WEF, I think, today, Shady Grove? World Health Organization, or WEF, I can't remember.
Yep.
And saying that they helped shield China's involvement. We just talked about it in hour number 1. Marco Rubio echoing what we just said, Shady Grove. Amazing, isn't it?
Amazing moment, man. I'm telling you. Wow. It keeps getting better.
It's good to be the king.
It's good to be king.
God bless you all. It was the WHO. Thank you, Poussaint. God bless you all. Great show, guys. Thank you, Major IP. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, KC. Thank you, Java Joe. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Augie. Thank you, ZA4FM. Thank you, Yao Ming. Thank you, Dutch Granny. Thank you, Yacker. Thank you, Design Pro. Anthony, we love you. See you guys tomorrow, because guess what, Shady?
Boom.
InfoWars
is dead.
Yeah, buddy. Let's go.
InfoWars is dead.
Magic Woman, thank you. Thingsofholding.com/MG show.
Logo switching. Welcome to the real alternative. They try to bury the truth in the $1 billion grave. Sandy Hook judges liquidate and slay. Alex down swinging, but the message don't die. Now the matrix is cracking and the people ask why. Trump called him out cold on Truth Social Blast. Low IQ nut jobs fighting them in the past. From the ashes of Austin, new voices ignite. Jeffrey and Shannon holding the line. No sponsors pulling strings, no globalist chains. Just raw, uncut truth running through your veins. MG Show, hey, the alternative. Info wars gone, but we still live. Truth bombs dropping, red pills flying high. Wake up America, this is your battle cry. MG Show, hey, turn it up loud. From the heartland to the crowd. They can't cancel the message, can't kill the fight. We the people, we the light. Hey. Border invasion, deep state games. Old guard flipped on Trump when the pressure came. Were they MAGA all along or infiltrators in disguise? Talking 25th Amendment, pushing Iran lies. Trump's back in the game, steering America first. Jeffrey and Shannon breaking it down till the job is done. No more filters, no more controlled op lies. We expose the pedals in their suits and ties. That's going crazy. The real normies awake. Type MG in the comments, feel your InfoWars is dead, but freedom's just getting started. Smoke rising, new era, new guard. The matrix is glitching, we hit 'em hard. Trump called the flip, expose the game. Infiltrators scatter when they hear his name. MG Show, hey, the alternative. InfoWars gone, but we still live. Truth bombs dropping, red pills flying high. Wake up America, this is your battle cry. MG Show, hey, turn it up loud. From the heartland to the crowd. They can't cancel the message, can't kill the fight. We the people, we the light. InfoWars is dead. Long live the MG Show. Jeffrey and Shannon side by side. Real MAGA warriors, no place to hide. Drop the link, share the stream. This is the alternative. Let's go.
www.mg.show. Boom.